Harold Whittaker, a lonely retired carpenter, spent his days in solitude, yearning for purpose. When he saw neighborhood children playing in a dangerous overgrown lot, he decided to transform it into something beautiful. Using his life savings and decades of skill, Harold built a stunning playground, pouring his heart into every swing and slide. The community was touched by his generosity, but the story didn't end there. At an awards ceremony recognizing his act of kindness, Harold was shocked to reunite with his estranged niece, who revealed a heartbreaking yet heartwarming family connection. Harold's selfless act not only brought joy to countless children, but also healed wounds from his past, proving that compassion can change lives in the most unexpected ways. For years, Harold Whittaker lived a quiet, uneventful life in the old house at the end of Maple Street. A retired carpenter in his late 70s, Harold was known for keeping to himself. His house, though tidy, bore the signs of age, much like Harold himself. The creaking of the porch swing and the flickering light from his living room window were the only signs that anyone lived there at all. Harold had no family left. His wife, June, had passed away 2 decades ago, and they had never been blessed with children. While his neighbors politely greeted him in passing, few ventured to truly get to know the solitary man. As the years passed, the neighborhood began to change. Families with young children moved into the surrounding homes, and the street filled with the sounds of laughter, bike wheels skidding, and the occasional cry of time for dinner. Harold would watch from his window, a faint smile playing on his lips as he observed the joyful chaos. It reminded him of a time long ago when he and June had dreamed of a house filled with such sounds. One morning, as Harold sipped his coffee, he noticed a group of children playing in the empty lot across the street. It was overgrown with weeds and littered with debris, yet they seemed unfazed, their imaginations transforming it into a magical kingdom. But as Harold watched, a little boy tripped over a jagged rock, scraping his knee. The boy's cry of pain pierced Harold's heart. That evening, Harold sat in his workshop, the scent of sawdust filling the air. He hadn't used his tools in years, but the sight of the injured boy lingered in his mind. Harold decided he would do something for the children, a project that would give him purpose and bring joy to the neighborhood. Over the next few days, Harold surveyed the empty lot, clearing away broken glass, weeds, and rusty cans. His neighbors watched curiously, unsure of what the old man was up to. Some offered to help, but Harold politely declined, saying, "I've got it under control." Soon, wooden beams and planks began to arrive. Harold spent hours in his workshop, crafting swings, slides, and monkey bars. Each piece was meticulously designed, his years of craftsmanship evident in every detail. Neighbors noticed the transformation taking place, and the children grew more excited with each passing day, peeking through the fence to catch glimpses of Harold's work. Weeks turned into months, and Harold poured his heart into the project. He worked through aching joints and tired muscles, fueled by the vision of children playing safely and freely. Finally, one crisp autumn afternoon, the playground was complete. It featured swings, a slide, a small climbing wall, and even a wooden sandbox with a lid to keep it clean. Harold named it June's Garden, in honor of his late wife, who had always loved children. The unveiling of the playground was a quiet affair. Harold opened the gate and stepped aside, watching as the children cautiously approached. Their hesitance quickly gave way to excitement as they climbed, swung, and laughed with pure delight. Harold's heart swelled as he watched the scene. Parents joined, thanking him for his generosity and marveling at the craftsmanship. The playground quickly became the heart of the neighborhood. Children played there every afternoon, and parents gathered to chat, forming bonds that had been missing before. Harold, once the quiet old man on the corner, found himself surrounded by warmth and gratitude. The loneliness that had gripped him for years began to fade, replaced by a sense of belonging. But one day, as Harold sat on a bench, watching the children, he noticed a man in a suit standing near the gate. The man appeared out of place, holding a clipboard and surveying the playground with a critical eye. Harold approached him cautiously. "Can I help you?" Harold asked. The man introduced himself as Richard Langston, a representative of a local foundation that recognized community contributions. "I've heard about what you've done here," Richard said, gesturing to the playground. "It's truly remarkable. I'd like to nominate you for our annual Community Builder Award." Harold was taken aback. He hadn't built the playground for recognition. He had simply wanted to help. But Richard assured him that the award could bring more resources to the neighborhood and help maintain the playground for years to come. Reluctantly, Harold agreed. A few weeks later, Harold was invited to the foundation's annual banquet. It was an extravagant event, held in a grand ballroom, a stark contrast to the modest life Harold was used to. When his name was called, Harold shuffled to the stage, his hands trembling slightly as he accepted the award. "I'm just an old man with some tools," Harold said, his voice humble yet steady. "I didn't do this for awards or recognition. I did it because every child deserves a safe place to play. If this playground can bring even a little happiness, then it was worth every splinter and sore muscle." The audience erupted in applause, but the surprises weren't over. As Harold made his way back to his seat, Richard approached the stage once more. "Ladies and gentlemen," Richard said, "what Mr. Whitaker doesn't know is that someone else wanted to recognize his incredible contribution." The lights dimmed, and a screen descended from the ceiling. A video began to play, showing interviews with the neighborhood children and their parents, each expressing their gratitude and admiration for Harold. As the video ended, the camera panned to a young woman holding a bouquet of flowers. Harold's breath caught in his throat. It was Emma, the daughter of his estranged brother. He hadn't seen her in decades, not since a family dispute had driven them apart. Tears streamed down Harold's face as Emma stepped onto the stage. "I've been looking for you for years," Emma said, her voice trembling with emotion. "When I heard about the playground, I knew it had to be you. Uncle Harold, you've always had the biggest heart." The room fell silent as Harold embraced Emma, the weight of years of separation melting away in an instant. That night, Harold returned home with not only an award, but also a renewed sense of family and purpose. The playground continued to thrive, becoming a symbol of community and kindness. And Harold, once the lonely old man in the corner house, became a beloved figure whose legacy would live on in every child's laughter and every parent's smile. His final act of kindness had not only transformed his neighborhood, but had also brought him the greatest reward of all, a family he thought he had lost forever.